Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome back to our show. Once again, my name is Mrs. Augustina Anyango, and help me welcome my friend, Mrs.
Glorynezemma. Welcome back to our sweet home, Africa. It's always a pleasure to have you as our viewer. Alright, so today we have a great topic. Our topic today is an appeal to world leaders to come to the aid of Africa at this time of crisis. So my friend and I will once again, bring to light some of the sufferings of our people in Africa, especially at this time when we're going through such a universal crisis with the coronavirus. So we will give you insight and then plead with the world leaders to help us to release the money that belongs to Africa everywhere in the world so that we can use it to rebuild our healthcare system and help our family at home. My dear friend,
My dear sister.
have you watched in the news and everywhere what is going on in Africa?
Not only in Africa,
coronavirus.
it is so terrifying all over the world. We hear news of death, news of people in the hospital, news of people being quarantined. But as far as Africa is concerned, I'm getting phone calls upon phone calls. How are you all doing there? Now we have it in Africa. This person have it, this person have it. But the thing more terrifying is that we are not equipped to handle this type of crisis. And what I hear that we need in order at least to be self-quarantined and be safe, I don't think some parts of Africans have it.
Most parts, not even some.
I know you work in the healthcare, industry, and you know about some of the things that we need. And the fear of that again is that do we have money? Do we have the resources to make sure everybody that have the symptoms in Africa get the necessary care they deserve, both in the cities and in the local or suburb areas. So right this moment, my sister, as you said, is a plea.
Exactly.
We are going to plead with
the world leaders,
people outside Africa, to help and to come to our aid so that our people can survive this pandemic, So
because actually, like in the hospital, they have gloves, they have masks, they have gown, and
and you mean over here, not
over
in Africa?
here. It's in America,
okay.
actually. I'm in New York.
Okay.
So here they have all the equipment that they need to be able to, at least prevent themselves.
Control it a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're getting, messages and videos. People are calling, panicking in Africa because they don't have the gloves, they don't have the mask, they don't have even sometimes
the resources.
They don't have anything.
Yeah.
And exactly. And then a lot of countries are building hospitals. Like I said, in New York, the governor is trying to build a new hospital. In China, where they started, they built new hospitals. But in Africa, we don't even have the basic hospitals, not to talk of building new ones. And then you talk about hand washing. They're saying wash your hands, wash your hands. We don't have water. Is that true?
A whole lot of people don't have, they don't have the privilege. Like some people here, like over here, all you need to do is to go to the tap. There sink, bathroom, everywhere there is water. You go to public places, which we are not privileged now to be socializing because of this. So, but anywhere you go, even at your workplace, there is water. But unfortunately, some parts of Africa, or most parts of Africa, Africans, they don't have that privilege to go in their sink or in their kitchen and turn the water on. So that's a little bit, we need help.
Exactly. And then you talk about oxygen because, when people contact the disease, they need oxygen urgently. We don't have the oxygen, not to talk of the ventilators. A lot of places are importing ventilators. The Western world, everyone, they're trying to acquire as much ventilators as they can to save the life of the people. But we don't even have basic oxygen, not to talk of ventilators in Africa. I know when I say we don't have it, some people might say, oh, we have some hospitals. But it's just very small areas that have good hospitals. Like where I come from, I mean, it would take you almost like 10, 15 miles for you to even get to
the hospital.
And then we don't have the ambulance either.
The emergency workers, we don't have them. And then not only that, when you get to hospital, what happens? Some hospitals don't even have light. They don't have unless you have a generator. When you run out of gas, then the generator is not operational. So storage is another problem.
That's true.
So when we get that, we have to have electricity. That is 24-hour service, 7 days a week. So we really, this is a time we need to wake up, and then like you said, what do we do?
Exactly. And actually, before we go into what we need to do and what we're asking the world leaders to do for us, insurance, actually, let me mention this one. In the Western world, I mean, they have money to go to the hospital. But in Africa, people don't even have money to eat, not to talk of money to even cure themselves. So even if they're sick, they won't be able to go to the hospital because they don't have the money to pay the doctor. And the doctors will not take care of them unless they pay cash.
Yeah, unless they pay the money, because we are not privileged to have all those government assistance that they have here. Because over here, when somebody is sick, you have to take care of the person, because you can't say because, oh, you don't have money, or you cannot pay the down payment, we call it, or the admission fee. You have to have a card, they give you a card and all those things. So they're going to make sure they take care of you. And the social services within that hospital will help you, social workers. They're going to help you get your resources that you can qualify. Wherever you qualify, they put you there. That will help the government get their, the hospital get their money. So that's what is still missing in Africa. We don't have that. But right now we have a pandemic in our hand.
Exactly.
This is an urgent call for everybody to come and answer, and put all hands together, or make all hands be on a deck. Look for hospitals, look for abandoned ones. Government have to get involved as to, you know, modify the existing ones. Because this is an urgent thing. If you can build one, we have workers, we have people that work hard. Let us start doing something. Instead of watching and saying, what do we do now? There is something to do. We have to get on it so that our people will live and survive. So that our people will survive and they live.
Exactly. You know, that's something, actually, when you were talking, that's something that just came to my mind. Because as much as we're trying to see what we can do, you know, we need the resources, we need the money.
Yes.
And sometimes the money is not in Africa. I know sometimes the government might have it, but they won't have that much.
You're right.
You know, to deal with this magnitude of problem.
Yes.
What we're suggesting, actually, at this time, and not even suggestion, what we're saying and pleading, is that the world should release African money wherever they are. You know, I know they have World Bank in Switzerland.
Yes.
So this is the right time now to release money that belongs to Africans. Especially, you know, you have individuals that bank money abroad. Now the borders are closed, so they can't even get out, even to get proper medical care. But at the same time, I mean, they shouldn't run out and leave the poor people to die. So now is the time to return money that belongs to Africa. Wherever they are, if they're in London, if they're in Switzerland, if they're in America, please return African money back to Africa so that they can use it to help their people at this time of crisis. They can use it to build hospitals. They can use it to pay for hospital, I mean, for people that don't have money to go to the hospital, so that at least people can run over there. And then government can use the money to, you know, offer some assistance
to individuals.
Like, exactly.
Yes, how they're quarantined. Yes, they got to eat.
Exactly. Because actually, I mean, over here, the governments, they're doing their best to see how they
children
can help
are going
people.
to school to collect food in the morning, like breakfast. They have breakfast.
That's true.
They have lunch. They have a place they can go and get that. Because like in Africa, some parents don't have that means of feeding their children 3 times a day. Now they are home. So what would they do? They don't have to go to work. So those that are, because a lot of people are, you know, they work on their own as a sole business. They have to sell before they get food and buy and bring home. Now they are home. They've been quarantined. Fine. What do they eat? They cannot die of starvation. Government have to make that provision at any center or school or wherever, where people can go in the morning and get breakfast and lunch, so that they can be able to survive. Apart from being, apart from being killed by the virus, hunger can kill somebody too.
Exactly.
So we have to make that provision. And at the same time, what you said about return African money that are in there sitting doing nothing, please don't give them to charity. Return it. At this particular time, we need it. We need the money. Switzerland, I don't know. Let whoever work in the World Bank, whoever is a decision maker, look for those money that are in their dormant. Bring them, return them, so that Africans can be able to bring themselves to a level where they cannot depend on outside world to help them. Exactly. And at the same time, can you give grant?
Exactly.
We need grant right now. We don't need to borrow. We need grant to rebuild Africa. So that, because when Africa is good, a whole lot of countries and individuals will be good, because they will not be doing what? Going outside the country looking for a job. Exactly. They will be there being a productive citizens. Please, we need that grant as to be able to rebuild the hospitals, to bring the necessary things, so that our people will not die of this pandemic.
Exactly. You know, actually, that's something that you brought up, the grant.
Yeah.
That I'm going to push a little bit further. I love that, because, I mean, grant is something that you don't pay back.
Yes. All right,
it's
so not a loan.
Exactly. So I'm pleading, as much as my friend said with the grant, I know a lot of African countries borrowed money.
Yes.
From the Western world.
Yes.
They borrowed from China, they borrowed from India, they borrowed from America, they borrowed from Europe, everywhere. Yes. So please, this time, we are pleading with world leaders. Allow them to use the money without charging interest, even without asking for the money to be returned.
Yes.
So that at least they can use that money. I mean, give them what is it? I don't know the right word that I could use to push this further. I mean, clear those debts.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Debt forgiveness.
Forgive
them.
Give them debt forgiveness. That's a great word.
Yes.
Forgive those debts at this time.
Yes.
So that you can give them the
incentive.
Exactly.
Necessary.
And
so
then give them the peace of mind.
Yes.
So that they can start thinking of what to do to be able to help their people at this time.
Yes.
And another thing that I need to point out, you have Africans all over the world. I mean, you have them as professionals all over the world. And actually, I have to bring this to everybody's attention. Even in New York, as people are running around looking for doctors and, specialists to deal with this virus, I am proud to announce that where I work, the specialist that is being consulted even for this virus is a Nigerian. It's an
African.
A female.
Yes. A female
infectious disease doctor.
That's right.
So that will tell you that.
That's right. Thumbs up, sis.
Exactly. That will tell you that Africans, we have contributed so much
to the outside
all over the world, to the outside world.
To the outside world.
So please, this is a time, because I mean, we have our professionals. I mean, I work in the hospital. We're all working 24 hours to save lives in the Western world.
Yes.
And we're watching on TV as our brothers and sisters, our relatives, our friends
they're
are
panicking.
dying.
They are in fear because we don't have the necessary things.
Exactly.
Like you said, if a consultant at your job is an African, so the world have to help us and say thank you in one way or the other by helping Africans. So that I'm proud of Africans. They produce somebody like that.
Specialists, exactly.
Oh
so
my
please,
God.
we're pleading. Queen Elizabeth, I mean, this is a simple show, but who knows how far it will go.
Yeah, please, whoever is in contact, send it to her. Forward it.
This is a time. We're pleading with Buckingham Palace. Release every wealth that you have that belongs to Africa, so that we can use it at this time to be able to rescue our people, to build good hospitals. Like my friend once in a while says,
too.
Exactly.
They can return.
Exactly. With Buckingham Palace. Release the money so that they can, even electricity. I know there was a time that my friend mentioned in one of the episodes. We don't even have light. We don't have anything. Even, electricity is what we need, even to store the medicine and everything. We don't have that.
Regular running water, we don't have.
Our people are suffering. They are struggling. I know many, many years ago we were very wealthy, but we lost our wealth. So please, Buckingham Palace, release the money that belongs to Africa. Any money in Switzerland that belongs to Africa and Africans, return them back to Africa. If we have money in America that belongs to Africans and Africa as a continent, return it. We have it in Canada, all the continents in the world. In China, wherever, if our money is there, please return it back to Africa. This is a critical time for Africa now. We need everything that belongs to us returned so that we can start rebuilding our continent and save our people. Because if that country, if the disease are cured all over and it's still in Africa,
the continent of Africa is still, in trouble. Everybody's in trouble.
That means everybody's in trouble because it will still get back here
and go around the world.
Exactly. So please, as much as we're trying to combat it all over the world, come to the aid of Africa so that we can also combat it in Africa. And my friend, I don't know if you have more things to say before. There's one thing that I will try to round it up with. Go ahead.
Okay. No. It's just a plea for them to help, because we don't want people dying on the streets. We don't want people dying just because of lack of care. Just because we don't have the necessary equipment outside what have. Because we need to get all those things so that our people will live. That's a play. It's not that much. I know that a whole lot of people, but individuals too. Individual philanthropists in our midst, whatever you can do, I know they've been doing so much already. Some of them build schools in Africa, some of them donate chairs for students, some of them just give money, some go there for medical, medical mission.
Exactly.
So you have been doing so well. I thank you. It's not like we don't recognize it. You're doing so well, but we still need help. We need help, especially in this time of crisis, so that we can be able to give our people the necessary things they need as to combat this infection. Yes. Please, it's a very bad disease. It's all over the world, and every country is battling it. But please, we know that you can do a whole lot more to help the Africans. My dear, go ahead. You said you have something.
Yes, we're going to round up.
Okay.
So to cap it, actually, we talked about it before. This is a disease that does not discriminate.
Yes.
This disease does not know black, neither does it know white. It crosses, it goes across the border. It doesn't know rich people, it doesn't know poor people. It doesn't know the old, it doesn't know the young. So it's all over as we speak now.
Yes.
And what I'm understanding from this is that we are all connected in one way or the other.
You are right.
Irrespective of our skin color. Because if someone ate something,
in China,
the theory that everyone is saying, if someone ate something in China, and then someone in America is having the chills, and another person in Africa is having the diarrhea.
And Italians?
Exactly. It's
so
having the fever.
Yes.
So that means we are all connected.
We're all one. We are one.
That's what it means. Because if something can start from China and then go off to Europe, keep on going around to Africa and everything, that will tell you that we are all the same.
Yes.
No matter the skin color, no matter the status, we are all related in one world.
And the symptoms are almost the same.
And when you look at it, by God's grace, if they find a cure, you will see that if the cure is used in China, it can also be used in America and used in Africa. If they find a cure in Africa, it can also be used all over the world.
All over the world.
So that will tell you that we are all connected.
We are connected. You are right.
Yes.
We are all connected.
Yes.
We are one.
Yes.
So we got to stop the discrimination,
exactly.
right?
And to cap it off, what we're saying is that if you're crying in Italy, the Chinese are crying, the Americans are crying, and the Africans are crying. So if we're helping, let's help the Italian, let's help the Chinese, and let's also help the Americans and also help Africa. But unfortunately, Africa are the less privileged ones at this time. So let the world come to our rescue and help us and return everything that belongs to us at this time, especially in the bank. Because I know we all grew up there, so we know that we come from a very rich continent. But the money, most of the money
is outside the
continent of Africa.
Yes,
so please, this is a critical time now to return it to us so that we can use it to save our people. So that's our plea. My friend, I think
we said what needs to be said.
Exactly.
And I pray and I hope that they will return the money.
Thank you. And then I know one last thing actually that just came to my mind, because everybody will be wondering, okay, when they return it, where is it going?
Okay.
Our governments, we will use this medium to plead with you too. Please, When the money is returned to you, whichever country you are in Africa, use it wisely.
Use it accordingly.
Exactly.
For the purpose, for the benefit of the individuals.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that we can save lives and then be able to rebuild the continent of Africa. Create jobs.
Build better hospitals.
Build better hospitals. Build better roads so that ambulance can travel and get people in the villages and
get emergency workers.
Exactly.
Right.
And then train your workers.
Train the workers.
So there's so many things that you can do
with
that money. This is not a time to say, you know, I'm rich, I'm poor. Let's come together to save lives. So thank you so much for watching this episode. This is an episode that we do very often. And then we'll continue as we
progress, because this is a very hard time for the world. This is a new world that we're going in, and we're looking forward for this new world. So we got to rebuild every continent, especially the continent of Africa. So we are ready and willing to rebuild it. So please, government, as my friend pleaded, when the money comes, use it wisely, use it accordingly for the benefit of the nation. So once again, we say what?
Thank you so much for watching us. And may God bless you. Remain healthy. Our prayers are with you and your family at this critical time.
Yes.
May God bless you.
Amen. Thank you. And keep on subscribing to this show. Send it to your friends, because we want it to reach the world out there. Send it to your friends, send it to governors, send it to presidents, send it to the people, those in their house. Send it to whoever is in London, everywhere they are in the parts of on the face of this earth. Send it to them. We want this word to go across so that we can all rebuild Africa with ease. Thank you. God bless you. Have a blessed